Guys, out in the wood shop again today, and two reminders here before we get started. And the first thing is, if you have time, go over to the FedEx site for the small business contest. The link is down in the description below, and I also usually put it in the comments as well. The second thing is, before we get started here, there's a new blog entry over on the website, and there's a link down in the video description below to that also. And that's also a continuation of my kiln drying blog type series I'm doing over there, and I'm using written word instead of video form to give my ideas and thoughts and knowledge out there on kiln drying wood, and hopefully it's going to help you guys out a lot. So when you go over to the website and you check out that blog, be sure to put your email in so you can get the live updates on that, because if I don't put a video out, you're not going to know the blog's been updated for that day. So check that out if you have time. And I've also added a comment box below to that. I got a recommendation from Hard Knots to do that, and I think that's a good idea. So you can comment as well and ask any questions about the blog entry, and if I can't answer it, maybe somebody that read the blog will be able to answer it also. So it will make kind of a nice little forum, I think. Today we're going to attach the base of the table to the slab, and what we're using for the base is 2 steel legs. And as soon as I get those things out and start attaching them, I'll tell you more about them. And we're also going to be using something I've never used before here, which is some wood taps here. This is a tap for, you think about tap, tap's metal, it puts screws in metal. And these right here are actually made for wood. Pretty neat, I think. The Wood Whisperer, most of you guys I'm sure are familiar with him, he sells these over on his website. And I bought a set a while back because I thought it'd be really neat to try out on something like this in the future. And I'll leave a link down below to that website as well. These are about $24, I think, something like that. This is a 1/4 inch. He's got different sizes, but this is my first time using them, so we're going to be using those today to attach the table to the steel leg. Let's get going here and get this table finished. All right, guys, these are the legs we're going to be using. Of course, the table is flipped upside down. And we're looking at the bottom side of the table where the legs are going to attach. And these are some steel table legs that have also been powder coated to a glossy type finish here. Now this base is made by the Rite Leg Company, and the Rite Leg Company is also owned by Rite, who makes the Cant Hooks that we use here, and the ATV arch and the fetching arch. It's all made at the same place. They started making these table legs. And when I came across them, I didn't even realize that Rite was the people that made these things. It's just under a different company name, but it's the same people. So it's some more good American-made stuff being made here by Rite, or the Rite Leg Company, I should say. There's a link down below to the Rite Leg Company's website if you want to read some more about those guys and what they're doing over there. They have a lot more to offer than just this one style leg. They have multiple different bases that they're selling over there, from full-size dining room tables to these small little legs here they're used for a bench or a coffee table. And this model is called the Elisa model, if I remember correctly. But these are really well made. They're solid steel, they're powder coated. These are pretty easy to install. They send mounting hardware with them. They'll send you the screws to put them in. I'm going to be using some different screws because they sent some self-tapping screws, and like I said earlier in the video, we're going to be threading our own holes here, so I got some bolts to use there. And there's another feature to these legs here I'll talk about. Of course, it has the mounting holes here on the bottom plate, but also on this stretcher it has 2 additional holes, because you can also put a stretcher lengthway here if you want to put a shelf below your bench or coffee table, which is a pretty nice feature they put on here. So it's really got multiple uses. You can have a 2-tier coffee table or a nice bench with a small shelf underneath it. But I've elected not to put a smaller shelf. I think this slab really speaks for itself, and there's no need for a shelf to be underneath it. So you can either leave these holes open, just leave them the way they are, or you can get these small little plastic plugs right here. And down in the video description below, I'm going to list all this stuff and where I got it at. These plugs I got off Amazon. They're pretty inexpensive, but you can fit them right down in there. And that takes care of the hole. I think it looks a lot better when you put those plugs in there instead of these holes being open. And that's just less than $1 for a few of them. They're pretty inexpensive. And but it's a good option to have. You got these 2 mounting holes here, and you can always run you a nice stretcher underneath your table or bench. But in this instance, like I said, we're going to be filling those in. So when you drill these taps into the slab here, they recommend you do a pilot hole first. As you saw there on the drill bit, I had some painter's tape to mark off my depth, as I didn't want to go no deeper than 1 inch. And there's no need to do it here on the tap because you have 1 inch of threads here, and that's all it's going to make. So just try to keep a close eye here on the back of it. When the threads stop appearing, I know I'm at my depth. So this is the first time trying these things out, so let's see how good they work. Wood Whisperer done a video on a similar build a while back where he used a walnut slab on some steel legs, and he used the same method to attach his base to the top, and it worked out pretty good for him. So hopefully we'll have the same results. See how we did here. And one thing you need to plan on whenever you're building a table like this with steel table legs is expansion and contraction. Seasonal movement all means the same thing, because if you think about it this way, this slab in the summertime, it's going to get wider. It's going to take on moisture. It's going to be in the house with a heat pump going. You know, it's going to take on a lot of moisture in the summertime. The thickness will change a little, so will the width. And there's nothing you can do about that. You can just plan ahead for it. But I always tell people you can't stop wood from moving. You stop it from moving, it's going to crack. So you want to let it move freely. When it goes inside of a house that's climate controlled, you got to really plan for that. So this slab will have to move, you know, throughout the seasons. You keep it from moving and it's going to split because it's not going to stop moving. You can't stop it. So what I'm doing here is, of course, we have our holes threaded, and here's our hardware. I picked these up at the hardware store yesterday. They're 1 inch long, and I got a little bit too big of a washer for it on purpose. And the reason being, this would work without the washer. This bolt head would snug right fit against this steel on the plate, and it would be fine. It would mount right to it. But you want to plan for some movement. So that washer, as you can see, there's a lot of play right in there. So I try to get these holes directly in the center of the mounting plate, so when I mount this in, as you can see, as the wood moves through that seasonal movement, it can go back and forth, and there's a little bit of leeway right there. You know, less than 1/4 of an inch, but plenty enough for this slab to move. You don't have to worry about it as much in the middle right here, because the middle of the slab is not going to move that much on the width. The thickness will, the width won't. But you really have to worry about that, or think about it, on the ends. But I'm going to do it on all 6 of them, because it's not going to hurt nothing just to do all 6 of them the same way. It's going to look a lot better in the long run when you think about this thing being stable. I think I could have got by without it, but I'm going to put a little bit of Renaissance wax here. And this stuff is great, this Renaissance wax. I use it on all kinds of stuff. On moving parts with wood, it does really good at lubricating the wood, moving against each other, stops friction from happening. It's also good for rust. I put it on hand planes a lot of the time. A real good rust preventative. Yeah, it goes in a lot easier with that stuff. It's got to be tight enough to secure the base to the tabletop. That's all it's got to do. Here's why we've done that. As you can see, I got these 2 installed, and it won't make any difference when all 6 of them are in here. It will still do the same thing. You can see this movement. And that's plenty of room here for this tabletop to move back and forth during the seasonal changes. And it won't hurt the integrity of the build or cause any cracks or splits or anything like that. Anyways guys, two things left to do here. I went ahead and did another light sanding of 250 grit on top of this finish. Now I'm just getting the dust off. And I'm going to do one more coat of finish, guys, and here's why. Now one coat of the Rubio monocoat is plenty of finish here for this table. This stuff went on thick and it's nice and durable. It feels really good. But there was a few scratches that I did not see until after I put the finish on. And sometimes that happens. You think you got everything figured out and you put your finish on and you'll see a few little small scratches that you want to go ahead and take care of before it's too late. So what I did here is I sanded those scratches out. Of course that took the finish off of it. So I'm going to do one more coat of finish here on the top to even out those places I had to fix. And another coat of finish on this is not going to hurt it at all. So once that's done, I'll let this finish cure for about 48 hours. And probably come back on Friday evening and do a waxing for the top of it. And I'll video that as well, how I'll put my wax on these pieces. And I'm going to do a new method this time, actually I've never done before, on putting the wax on. But anyways, we'll put the wax on here in about 2 days and this piece will be done. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this build. Like I said, in about 48 hours I'm going to come back out here when the finish is fully cured and put a coat of wax on it. If you guys are interested in seeing that, how I do the wax finish on top of the Rubio, then leave me a comment down below and I'll do a video on that as well here about Friday afternoon. I was hoping to have some sawmill videos up this week, but the weather has just not cooperated. It snowed all day today and we got a 1/4 of an inch of rain the day before. So I've pretty much been stuck in the shop here for the first part of this week, but it did give me a chance to finish up this table. But next week we should have some good sawing weather. I got a subscriber coming down from Ohio for 2 days. He's coming down to Tennessee for vacation and he's going to come over for 2 days and help us do some sawing here at the mill. I'm going to do some walnut, because man, I got so much walnut to do, it's ridiculous. I have probably over 100 walnut logs I need to get sawed up and stickered and air dried. So anyways guys, go check out the website and read the blog if you have time and sign up for updates over there. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And give me a vote over on the FedEx site. We sure would appreciate it. If you're interested in anything I've used here on this build, I've got links to everything we've used down in the video description. So we'll see you guys back in a few days, and we got a lot of sawing coming, a whole lot of sawing. If you guys just knew how much walnut I had to saw, it's ridiculous. I gotta get it sawed up. That's all there is to it. Gotta get it sawed up.